Welcome.
I was waiting for you to say something.
Is it my job to start it?
No, but I went to the dentist today,
How was that?
and they gave me some numbing. And for the last few hours, I haven't been able to move the left side of my mouth. And as of right now, it started to come back a little bit. And I was just telling you, I was drinking my drink, and I know it's cold. I can hear the ice moving around in it. And when it comes in my mouth, the right side of my tongue, the right side of my face, it's cold like it's supposed to be. But when it gets over to the left side of my tongue, it feels hot. It feels like I'm drinking tea. Like it's like legitimately hot, and it's so odd.
Yeah,
I don't know how I feel about it.
I know what you're talking about. This shit's just such a weird feeling.
It's like it's spicy. I don't know how to, it's like hot and spicy at the same time.
Now you're just white.
No, it's like it's just all the nerves waking back up, and they're like, "Oh, what is this? It's spicy." You said you have some gnarly bear facts for us.
Next episode is going to be a really good one. This one's good too. One thing that I didn't know: bears have been my favorite animal for a long time, but I didn't know this.
No, they haven't.
They hibernate for 5 to 7 months every year. So I didn't know that about half the year. It's pretty much during the whole winter. But
So bears hibernate for half their life.
yeah, and the 3 facts that I'm looking at, the top one is the one that I just said. The next one ties into the one that I just said, and then the middle one ties into the third one, but the third one isn't related to the first one.
Are you going to say all 3?
I'm going to say the next 2 for tomorrow because the middle one ties into both of them, but I'm just going to give tomorrow a good one.
Okay. Are you going to say the other 2 tomorrow, or just one of them?
The other 2, they go together and they're both kind of short, so
Okay.
it's not going to be a double bear fact episode. They go hand in hand with each other. They're kind of the same fact.
Okay. Yeah. So if I talk kind of funny, it's because I can't feel my lips.
Listen to Def Leppard.
I was listening to Def Leppard over here. It was really nice. And I was driving away from a service call. I actually went and did a service call while my face was like this. And I had to tell the lady, I was like, if I start talking funny and I start like slobbering, let me know, because I just went to the dentist and my face is really numb. And she's like, oh, I hate the dentist. I was like, oh yeah, you think you hate the dentist? I have to sit here and have this conversation with you, and I can't feel half my face. But I figured it out. It was all good.
The thing, like, whenever your tongue's really numb and you're trying to eat something, you can't taste it. Like, the taste buds are off.
I was going to ask you, whenever your tongue gets numb, do you think your taste buds still work?
I think they still work, just...
Because it obviously just happened to me, so I have a really good memory as to how the whole thing works. That's still kind of happening, but the tongue's coming back right now.
At least you can get your T's in there.
My teeth. No. Whenever your tongue is numb, you can't taste anything.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, it's just nothing. Nothing comes through. When I was leaving that service call, and I don't know why I thought of this, but if there was another state you were going to live in that wasn't Texas, which state would you live in?
Texas.
No. You have to pick a different state.
Can I come back?
No. Fuck. You have to live there. Let's just say that there's an arrest warrant. There's a warrant out for your arrest in the state of Texas, and it's for something really bad. And if they catch you, you go to jail for like 20 years. So you got to go somewhere else.
Yeah, I'm going to go somewhere else.
But what would you have done? What do you think you would have done?
There was like a thing on Snapchat you like post. If I went to, it was a while ago, like while I was still in high school. Stupid bullshit for teenagers, but it was like, if I went to jail, how would I go to jail? And then you just have everyone respond to you about how they think you would go to jail.
Yeah.
I don't know what mine was, but probably something fucking stupid.
Like
peeing on an officer.
I can see you doing that.
I could see myself doing that. I don't know if I have the balls to do that.
Yeah, that'd be pretty nutty.
Because that's multiple accounts.
That's just assault.
Assault, public nudity, or indecency, or whatever it is.
I think it's public indecency. There's some places where you can...
Like nude beaches.
There's nude beaches, but I don't think you can just pee on the beach. Pretty sure that's against the law. because no one wants to smell your pee. But anyways,
No one wants to step in your pee.
so you didn't answer the question.
I'm looking at a map right now.
You're looking at a map because you can't think of any?
I'm just trying to figure out which is the best spot in the United States to move to, because I like Texas a lot. I might move out of Texas at some point in my life, but I'm ending my life in Texas.
So where would you go?
I mean, how bad is the crime that I committed?
If they catch you, you get pulled over for a speeding ticket.
Montana.
Montana.
You ain't finding shit out there.
You know what? That would be pretty high up on my list too. It's pretty cool up there.
Yeah.
Lots of bears.
Yeah. Go have a bear farm.
I'll tell you where I'd move to.
Where would you go?
Florida.
I don't know if I'd go to Florida.
I go to Florida for a number of reasons.
It's pretty whack over there.
It is pretty whack, but I do like the fact that they don't have any state income tax, much like Texas.
That is true.
So that's a big one for me. And there's some decent cities. I mean, we drove through it recently in the last 2 months. I mean, it's a pretty place. In terms of what you could do, what kind of opportunity you have in terms of careers, it might be a little bit more limited compared to most major cities in Texas.
Yeah.
But there's also more things you could do that you can't do in Texas. So I don't know. I think it'd be a fun experience. I think living in a place like Florida might be fun.
Let me go see zero income tax.
There's like 7 of them.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the number is 7.
I think, is Utah one of them?
9. Alaska, Florida, Nevada, New Hampshire, South Dakota, Tennessee, Texas, Washington, and Wyoming have zero income tax.
Okay. State income tax.
Yes. However,
Well, zero income tax is a big difference. There's a good distinction there to be made. Wait, did you see Montana was one?
no,
Montana's not one.
Wyoming,
Wyoming. You said North Dakota?
South.
Oh, South.
I
I have nothing against people who live in South Dakota.
Tennessee actually joined that this year.
Wait, who did?
Tennessee,
Oh, Tennessee decided to abolish their state income tax this year.
as of 21.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. I wonder what that's going to change. Where they're going to get that money from
It's not a huge state.
well, there's still a lot of people that live in Tennessee. And abolishing state income tax, I don't know what it was.
Are you from Tennessee?
No, well, let's say it was 5%. That's a lot of money that the state is no longer getting anymore. And who knows what that was funding?
But you're the only 10 I see.
So then my question would be, where are they getting that money now?
They're going to open up dispensaries probably.
You think Tennessee
What if
makes weed?
that would be,
That would be interesting.
they just legalize weed, take out income tax, and then
State income tax.
Yeah, state income tax, and then they're gonna just bool off the weed.
But then, that's interesting though, because I know that Colorado, or states that have recreational marijuana legal, the states make a lot of money off of those dispensaries.
Yeah,
And I wonder what the margins are on that. Like how much money do the states take from the dispensaries, or how much do they charge a fee to do it?
so like, let's say they make it legal to have dispensaries in Texas. Like, you can open up farms, or like have a farm.
Okay.
Even though that would be way out. If they legalize for like dispensaries, you can have farms, right? Or would that all the dispensaries just get shipments?
I think if recreational marijuana is legal, you can grow it.
That'd be awesome.
Or maybe, no, okay, I don't want to speak out of term.
I wouldn't grow weed to like have a farm so I could grow my own weed. I would just like want one weed plant. Just like have it blend in with all my other plants. And then someone comes over, and if they're just paying attention to the plants, they're like, "You growing weed?" Like, no.
Let's see. I know it's illegal to do it in Texas. California can now legally grow up to 6 marijuana plants at home. Oh, that's what they do. You can only grow a certain amount of plants for your own personal use. In California, it's 6 plants at home. Interesting. So then I would assume that in all the states that marijuana is legal recreationally, that you can just grow, depending on how many plants.
I just thought of a killer dope like hiding spot for something. You could get like a bunch of plants, have real plants and stuff, but have fake plants too, so it blends in. And then have a fake plant where it's like maybe it's kind of like a tree kind of thing, and you just grab the stalk of the tree and lift it up, and it's just like a compartment under the soil, or what looks like soil.
So I'm looking at a pretty interesting graphic here that shows where you can grow marijuana legally. And it's legal to grow in 10 different states. So Alaska, Nevada, Washington, California, Michigan, Maine. What is that? Vermont or New Hampshire? I think that's Vermont, and Massachusetts. But then there's 6 states where it's severely punished. So that, like, there's a distinction here. There's 4 different ones. There's legal for medical patients to grow it. 10, it's legal for anyone to grow it. In 33 states, it's not legal. And in 6 states, it's severely punished.
So what's a severe punishment?
In 6 states, growing weed is not only illegal, but is severely punished with fines and most likely jail time. And the other 33 states have not legalized growing weed. In some of them, it's completely illegal. In others, growers rely on loopholes and stealth. And then one of the 6 states where it's severely punished is Texas.
Fuck.
I just feel like Texas is going to be one of the last states.
100%.
It'll be like if there's like a group of states that just decide they're going to do it all at the same time, like the last ones, Texas will be in that group of the last states that do it.
For sure. There's no doubt.
Yeah.
You know how much weed you could grow out here? There's so much land.
And going back to the dispensary tax. So in Colorado, we'll collect 2.9% sales tax from both medical and recreational sales and 15% excise tax when cannabis moves from grower to seller.
Wow, so they're actually probably making a lot of money out of that 15%.
The 2.9% sales tax on medical weed goes entirely into the marijuana tax cash fund, which I'm sure is a huge fund. But that's what I'm saying. So if Tennessee decided to make weed legal, and then they could get their state income tax from dispensaries, I mean, that's their loophole, right?
Yeah.
Just make weed legal and abolish state income tax, and everyone's happy.
Boom.
Most people. There's still some old heads out there like, no weed ever. It's so bad for you. Why would you do that? But then they're smoking cigarettes.
Weed will be legal across the board in like 15 or 20 years. When I say across the board, just because even if...
Do you think it'll become federally legal, or is it always going to be up to the states?
I think it'll be federally legal, but it'll come up to state. And then over time, more states will just say, fuck it.
I feel like it's always going to be a state thing. It will always be up to the states to make that distinction. And honestly, I hope it stays that way. That would be great. At least because I'm a big proprietor for states' rights in general. So then with it being made up to the state to decide what's legal and what's not, I'm cool with that. And so then Texas being one of the last ones is inevitable. So
yeah. It's not like you smoke weed anyways. It's not your problem.
Yeah. But you know what? If it makes people happy, who cares? And it's not killing people.
Yeah, there's CBD dispensaries. I'm like, okay, how down bad you gotta be?
Right. It's not the same thing. I mean, I've never had CBD, but I know it's not the same thing.
It's not meant to get you like psychoactively high. It doesn't have that at all in it. It's just for wellness, and like you work out and you smoke a bunch of CBD and it kind of heals you.
I know that CBD is good for like swelling, like inflammation type things, maybe. Or is it considered a painkiller? So can you take it to like reduce? Because I know a lot of people do that for weed in general. Like if they've got whatever kind of pain in their body, aches, that weed helps for that.
Yeah, like whenever my hand thing happened, dude, I just got high and I was just looking at it like, huh. Like my hand just kind of felt fine. But once the high wears off, you're like, oh, kind of hurts.
When do you think they'll start using weed in hospitals as a form of painkiller? Do you think that'll ever happen? Like, can you imagine going to the hospital, getting like surgery or something? Like, all right, well, here's 3 grams. Go smoke it. You'll be fine.
That would be awesome. But with THC, it doesn't have those same healing properties. It would most likely be a CBD edible or something.
They give you some gummy worms. Say, here you go. Here are your edibles. They give you like 100 milligrams. That would be insane.
I'd look at them and be like, come on, I need more than that.
So now that I think about it, if I wasn't going to move to Florida, I'd probably move somewhere around Montana too. Maybe Montana or North Dakota, or I don't know. I just kind of want to avoid the Midwest. The really top part of Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas.
Go out to Montana, build a big ass ranch, and then make that your vacation house, and then Airbnb it out as a vacation house all year.
Yeah, a lot of people do that.
I mean, land's cheap out there.
I don't want to offend anyone from the Midwest, but I wouldn't want to live there. I did live there for a year.
Kansas.
And I'm glad that I'm not there anymore. Just because, I was staying in a small town.
Mm-hmm.
Small town, there was about 40,000 people. I was there for a year.
I thought I had like 1,000.
40,000. It was like 38,000 people.
Garden City was tiny.
I know, but it wasn't that small.
Really?
No, it wasn't that small. It's still a small town. It's like Dodge. It's like, I think Dodge City was a little bigger. There's another one south of Garden City. I forget what that town was called, about an hour away. But yeah, there were about 40,000 people that live there. But that's nothing in comparison to Georgetown. I think Georgetown, just north of here has probably twice as much, maybe 3 times more people.
I want to go with 500,000.
What? In Georgetown? There's barely 500,000 people that live in Austin. In the greater Austin area, I think it's just about 1 million. But then if you take the whole metropolitan area, which includes San Marcos, Georgetown, Round Rock, Cedar Park, that's 2 million.
Houston has more than that in just Houston. But Houston also does have that kind of outskirts small town.
But Houston's so big. You can say you're from Sugarland, but it's still a part of Houston.
Yeah.
They still say that, but then, that's why some people like to do the county versus the city. So how many people live in this county?
Yeah.
So obviously Austin would be in Travis, and so then you do the population of just Travis County. Mm-hmm. So that'll probably give you a pretty good idea as to the population of the Austin area. And then I think Houston is Harris County, or most of Houston is Harris County. So if you look at the Harris County population, it's 4.7 million people.
Wow. And
so that actually doesn't include Sugarland. It doesn't include Pearland. It goes all the way up to Katy, way up north, pretty close to the Woodlands, and then the inner loop. No, I think there's like 3 loops that go around Houston. One goes around through Katy. There's another one. Looks like actually there's a bunch of loops in Houston. Anyways, but Harris County makes up. It looks like it gets the vast majority of the population of Houston, which is about 4.7.
So if you incorporate the others, it's probably like somewhere around 5.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't know that many people live in Chicago. So Cook County has more people than Harris County does. And Cook County is most of Chicago. And it's 5.1 million versus...
I've been to Cook County.
You mentioned. How was it?
It was fun. Chicago's cool. They have like one strip of just like all the stores. Every store.
That you can think of?
Every store.
Every store.
Dude, every store. Like we were just driving down, like all of us were in the van.
Name the stores. Name all the stores.
Woo!
Major, name every store. I'll help you. Walgreens. And that's the end of my list.
I had another point after that, but you kind of derailed me, you bitch.
You're talking about the strip with all the stores on it.
I know, but I had something after that, and I forgot what it was. Well,
you were in Chicago.
Yeah, it was actually a lot of fun. One thing, I've been reading a book recently called Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. It's actually a really good book. I'm on like chapter 2.5, and I've enjoyed every single page of it. But I learned something interesting about Steven Spielberg. So part of this book is talking about master of your fate, captain of your soul. And they say Steven Spielberg is one of the masters of fate, or he mastered his fate because everyone knows he's one of the greatest like motion picture directors of all time, and he always dreamed of being a movie director from childhood.
You can just say film director. You don't have to say motion picture.
I want to sound sophisticated.
Okay, then say pictures and motion director.
Whenever he was young, he took a Universal Studios tour, and that just lets you go like on site where they make all the movies and stuff. And he sneaked off and
Snuck off.
Snuck. It's all the same bullshit. Quit interrupting me.
He snucked off.
He snucked off and went and made friends with a security guard, and like went and chatted up a security guard. And then for the next 3 months, he just came back every day and kind of worked his own hours and found he found like a vacant office and made it his own office and like put his name on it and everything and just kind of like blended in. But I mean, this was back in 1975.
It had been before that. I feel like that'd be in the 60s. I mean, he directed his first film. I mean, I don't know what his first.
Oh, this was probably around late 60s.
Yeah, I was going to say
70s.
definitely because he was making movies in the 60s or the 70s.
His first full-length film was Sugarland Express in 74.
Okay.
But yeah, he kind of just went to Universal Studios and put himself in there.
No, Duel. Remember Duel?
The movie?
I think it was his first film. It was in 71, and it was about like a truck driver. I remember watching this years ago, like maybe 10 years ago, and it's about this guy who's driving across the country on a two-lane highway, and he encounters an old oil tanker driven by an unseen driver who seems to enjoy annoying him with dangerous antics on the road. And so it's just this duel where this truck driver is like following him. And that was basically the whole movie. But yeah, that was in 71. So that was Spielberg's first.
That was his first one. Sorry, I forgot to mention his first full-length film.
Well, you said full length, so I know what you're saying.
Okay, so yeah, Sugarland Express was that. This is a really good book, Think and Grow Rich. I recommend it.
You know they're doing Indiana Jones 5.
Really?
It's coming out in 2022.
Looks like I gotta watch the first 4.
You can watch the first 3. I think Temple of Doom. Was that the third one? Apparently Indiana Jones is banned in India. Interesting. But I think definitely the first 2 Indiana Jones were really good. And maybe Temple of Doom is the second one. No, Temple of Doom is the second one. The third one was The Last Crusade. Okay.
You are making absolute chaos for Indiana Jones fans.
I know. I'm just making people so upset. Yeah, that was the third one, The Last Crusade. You know what? It looks pretty good. I guess they're all pretty good.
Isn't Indiana Jones just a ripoff of National Treasure with Nicolas Cage?
I mean, pretty much. That's where Steven Spielberg got the idea.
What a fucking copycat.
I know. But you know what? That's what Hollywood does. They just recycle the same stuff.
That is true.
So they make one National Treasure. Nicolas Cage booms, makes an awesome movie, cultural icon, and then they decide, Steven Spielberg is like, well, you know what? We're going to make something similar. So he makes Indiana Jones, and it's kind of the same premise.
Yeah.
Except, I mean, it's not like...
He didn't do it as well.
Well, they're not in... So it's kind of the same thing. They're going out to find treasure, right? And so, National Treasure kind of sticks to the roots. And they're like, yeah, we're going to do something in the United States. And they go out and look for the Declaration of Independence. And then the second one, they do something with Mount Rushmore, I think. And then Indiana Jones, when that finally came out, they're like, yeah, we're going to go to... I don't know. I think they went to the Middle East and... We're looking for, at least in the first one. The first one was Nazi based. I don't know why they decided to go back in time with that whole deal. Like maybe they try to make them look older than they actually were. Like, I mean, come on, Indiana Jones hasn't been out for that long.
God, that's fucking stupid.
I know. Also, Star Wars, man.
Star Wars is, if you put anything on to try and make me fall asleep, Star Wars, Indiana Jones, and shit.
Lord of the Rings.
That, what's that long ass TV?
Game of Thrones.
Yeah. I didn't even have to go any further. You knew it.
Yeah.
I haven't started it, and I don't plan on it.
It's definitely a commitment.
Yeah.
But what's funny is I've seen the newer Star Wars movies that have come out, like The Force Awakens, The Last Jedi. I think that's what that one's called. I never saw the third one, the third reboot movie. What was that one called? I guess episode 8. No, episode 9. Because Force Awakens was 7. So I saw 7 and 8, but I never saw 4, 5, or 6. And I never saw 1, 2, or 3.
I've only ever played Lego Star Wars and part of Star Wars for PS4.
So then you know pretty much how the story goes.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no point in watching it now. You remember that movie, Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
Oh my God, I haven't seen that in so long.
That's a good movie. I remember watching as a kid and be like, oh, this movie is so cool. I love it so much. I want to watch it every time it comes on. And the guy from Back to the Future, Christopher
Nolan. No, I'm just kidding. I know who you're talking about.
I started thinking, Christopher Lloyd.
Christopher Lloyd.
Yeah. He plays the bad guy in that movie.
That is right, yeah.
He plays the bad guy, yeah. Are you big into Star Wars? Other than Lego Star Wars?
I literally said I haven't seen anything Star Wars. I've only ever played the video game.
Well,
I think it's cool, but
I was asking like if you would go and watch it. Like if you felt like you're like, you know what, I got nothing on my hands. Nothing I want to do. This
maybe.
seems kind of interesting. I might watch it. That type of deal.
Maybe. I haven't gotten to the point where I have like a giant chunk of free time. I'm just like, all right, I'm going to start watching some kind of movie series. And I don't know. Whenever I don't find myself watching TV or like movies whenever I'm in my free time. I'll do it at some point. I have a lot to catch up on, a lot of culture to catch up on.
You know what I thought this entire time up to this very moment?
What?
That Steven Spielberg directed Back to the Future.
Really? I didn't even think that. I'm stupid.
You didn't think Steven Spielberg directed Back to the Future?
He didn't.
I know. I know now. I thought he did. I legitimately thought he did. I know he did E.T.
Back to the Future.
I thought he did Back to the Future. It was Robert Zemeckis. But you didn't know that. Just trying to act smart in front of me.
I'm not trying to act smart, but I'm not fucking stupid.
You don't know anything. Shush. Let's see. E.T. was definitely Spielberg. Yeah. Definitely Spielberg. What Goonies? Remember that movie?
Definitely Spielberg.
No.
I know.
Actually, the story was by Steven Spielberg. Steven Spielberg wrote it, but he didn't direct it. That's a good movie I need to go back and watch. Oh, you know who was in Goonies?
Charlie Sheen.
Thanos.
Really?
Josh Brolin.
Oh.
He was in Goonies. I didn't know that. He's actually been in a bunch of stuff. Stuff that I didn't even realize that he was in. Do you know who directed Gremlins? I also thought that was Spielberg. There's a lot of movies from the 80s that were kind of popular that I thought Steven Spielberg directed. I mean, he really...
I don't know.
You wouldn't know. The guy's name is Joe Dante.
Joe Dirt.
Joe Dirt. No, not Joe Dirt.
If you're ever on a first date with someone and you're trying to look for those kind of the red flags, trying to test the water, see what kind of person they are, ask them if they could have any superpower, what it would be.
Okay, let's say we're on a date and I ask you that. What's your answer?
Well, if I said read minds,
I'm getting out.
Yeah, that's a red flag for you to get the fuck out.
Yeah, I'm out.
Yeah.
I want no part of that.
I don't know. Telekinesis.
Move things with your mind. That'd be pretty cool.
Just think about it. Like, if you mastered it, you wouldn't even have to get up to, like, use the bathroom. You could just do it and use your mind to move it to the toilet as you're sitting there.
You could do that. I was thinking you were going to go a different route with that. Like you were laying down in bed and you could open the door from the refrigerator downstairs.
Make a sandwich and then just float it up to your room.
That'd be pretty cool.
That would be sick.
You know The Poltergeist, the movie?
Yes, I haven't seen it.
Steven Spielberg also wrote that, but didn't direct it. He was on a roll in the 80s. He did a lot of stuff.
Probably a lot of coke.
Well, I can't speak to that, but did he do Casper? No, he did not do Casper.
Casper the Black Ghost?
No, the Friendly Ghost.
Dude, he was a dick. What do you mean?
Yeah, he was kind of dickish.
He was so selfish. All he wanted was anything for himself.
I didn't realize that movie was so old. It came out in 95. Thought it was newer than that. I watched another interesting movie last night.
What was it?
Actually, two. When I got back to my place, I was like, I'm too tired to work out. I'm just going to watch a movie and go to sleep. And I was like, it's only 11:30. I can watch one more movie. Because it was kind of in that window where I was like, yeah, I can still get a decent amount of sleep and watch one more movie. And I've been putting off watching this movie for a long time. The first one I watched was The Wrestler. Ever heard of that one?
No.
Came out in 2008. Michael Mann plays. It's kind of a sad story. It really is. And it's very true about these wrestlers in WWE. You know, they have their heyday in the 80s and the early 90s. And, you know, a good example of dealing with that. I mean, all the surgeries and broken arms and elbows and legs and cracked spines and broken eye sockets. I mean, and you watch them do wrestling, and you're like, obviously you can tell they're pulling punches. They're not really hitting each other, but just falling off the ropes and hitting the canvas and doing whatever tricks they're doing. I mean, they're beating their bodies up for years every weekend.
Yeah.
And then by the time they get to 30, they're just so broken down and worn down. And you can listen to The Undertaker's story whenever he talks about it, because he came up in the 80s. And I think by the late 80s, he finally got his character, because he didn't know who he was going to be. And then the 90s rolled around and he was The Undertaker. And maybe I'm getting my dates mixed up, but I don't know about the WWE. But anyways, he'd done it for so long. And he talks about how he got beat up so bad, and it just happens that way. And, you know, a lot of people love it. But then this movie kind of goes into that and talk about this guy who was a huge wrestler in the mid 80s. And then it fast forwards to today, which was 2008. And he's just, what are you trying to say?
Finish.
And no, it was a good movie. It was kind of sad, but a very real story. I do recommend it. I can't tell what motion you're making. Are you skiing?
I'm sitting down. What motion am I making?
Rowing?
Oh my God.
What are you doing?
I'm going to do it one more time and then I'll give you a hint.
Why are you doing this?
No idea.
What do you
Wheelchair.
Wheelchair? No, he wasn't in a wheelchair. But he could have been. I mean, in the movie, he had a heart attack.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, and they had to do open heart surgery on him, and they're like, you can't wrestle anymore. And he's like, okay. He took it seriously. But then he got to the point in his life, he's like, this is all I have. All I have is wrestling. So I'm going to go out. I mean, it doesn't actually show him, you know, killing himself, but he goes out and he just does his thing, you know, plays Guns N' Roses and goes out there and, you know, the whole deal. But anyways, that was a good movie. I do recommend it. The other one is called Midsommar.
I've heard of that.
You know who directed it? The same guy who did Hereditary.
Oh.
I was like, oh, this looks interesting. I'll watch this. It was like a 2.5 hour long movie. And boy, I like the premise of the movie is really good, and I like the way that they did the movie because it's a horror movie, like much like Hereditary is. It's horror. It's supposed to be scary in that way, but it's not what you would think. Like nighttime, it's dark, and crazy things are happening. But no, like the entire movie takes place in daylight. There's hardly any scenes that take place at night except for the beginning. I'm not going to ruin any of the movie, but it's really good if you liked.
Scary?
It's not as surprising as Hereditary is. Have you seen Hereditary?
I've seen the start.
Oh, you didn't see the whole thing?
I've seen up until a very turning point with the kid.
And a light pole?
Yeah.
Okay.
I've seen up to that.
I like how I know what you were talking about. But it's not as surprising as Hereditary is because throughout the movie, and I love it when movies do this, there's a lot of foreshadowing happening in the movie, in the foreground and the background of the sequences that are happening. It kind of tells the story. It kind of prefaces what's about to happen. And you can see it in drawings in this Swedish town. It's hard to explain without giving away the story, but like there'll be drawings that don't make sense as you're seeing them, but then later you're like, oh, that drawing makes sense now because that's happening right now. So like if you see it, it's interesting. And I like that. It was really good.
When they put little Easter eggs in there.
Yes, lots of Easter eggs. I love movies with Easter eggs, especially when you go back. Because I know for a fact if you go back and you watch Midsummer a second time, you'll pick up on every single little Easter egg. Yeah, I love it. I love it so much.
Have you watched it a second time?
I have. Well, I watched it last night. No, I haven't
watched it again tonight. I'm just kidding.
I'm good. I saw it last night.
Sounds like you don't like it.
I thought it was good. Sorry, I just like movies a lot.
Did I tell you I'm going to see Shang-Chi?
You did mention that yesterday. You're going to watch it with you, and you planned it a month out, a month away from when you're actually going to watch it.
He did. I mean, it's his birthday.
Well, that was nice of y'all. Y'all are idiots.
Shut up.
You said you're going to watch it where? At Regal?
I think.
3D?
Not sure. Yes, in 3D.
Definitely 3D.
I haven't seen a 3D movie in like 10 years.
So my advice to you is actually not advice. I'm making a deal with you. If you do not get high before you go see that movie, I'll give you $5.
Go buy a fucking sandwich, man.
Really? You just gotta.
It's the birthday boy's wishes.
Oh, that's what he wants?
Well, we're going to go to a Korean barbecue place. We already have reservations. We're going to smoke, go to the Korean barbecue, smoke, go to the movie, and then probably smoke after.
Where's which Korean barbecue?
I can't remember what it's called, but...
Have you had it before?
I have not.
Have you ever had Korean barbecue?
I've had that Korean beef from Costco. I don't know if that counts as Korean barbecue.
I don't think so.
Yeah, then I guess, no, I have not. We're also going to go to a sushi place or something.
That's cool.
It's like a $35 cover, but then you get whatever you want.
Really? That's a movie I need to see again. Beetlejuice.
Never seen it.
Really? Never seen Beetlejuice?
I know who Beetlejuice is.
Yeah, Beetlejuice is a really good movie.
Isn't he dead?
Who?
Beetlejuice?
Like the guy who plays Beetlejuice?
No.
Like the story? Like how the movie goes? Like
Nothing to do with the movie. Remember Beetlejuice?
Oh, yes.
Is he dead?
Let me see. The guy on all the funny videos.
Yeah.
Beetlejuice Man. No, he's alive. He's 53.
Damn.
Do you know how tall he is? How tall is Beetlejuice?
4'7".
4'3".
Damn.
It's a little person.
It's a little dude.
You know what his full name is?
Aquarius.
Lester Green. It wasn't he the one. There's like, they asked him, what's 5 + 8? And he goes, probably 40 or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't tell if he's kidding half the time. So anyways, what'd you do today?
I worked. I got my second wave of products. I'm adding 85 more products.
85, that's a lot.
I have 80 right now. I'm gonna add 85, and then I think.
How do you manage that?
What do you mean?
Like, how do you manage adding new products? Like, how does that work?
I just have to go source them from the website that I source my products from, and it's kind of annoying. I want to keep the website up while I'm doing this, but if I add a product from my sourcing website to my website, it automatically goes and just throws it on the page that I designate it to, and I have to go to the specific product and make it a draft instead of it available for everyone to see. So it's hidden because I still have to go edit like
Okay.
numbers and all that stuff. But
So what kind of products are you adding?
just kind of bulking on what I already have. Whenever I first launched with all the products, I kind of just did a good like overview of there's kind of just like 2 or 3 shirts, pants, whatever. And now I'm going to add another wave of all of that. And I did have accessories, and those were like 21 or 22 of the products of the first 80. But this time I'm not doing as many. So there's going to be more clothing, more variety.
Okay.
I'm going to do 3 waves of products for this one. I'm going to end with 250 products, and then after that, I'm good.
Are you doing any shoes?
Maybe.
I feel like shoes is tough.
Yeah, shoes is pretty tough.
So then you would get like Nikes, but the logo wouldn't be on them.
I can show you what I can.
Like in theory, it would just be regular tennis shoes that you would go find at, Dick's, but they just don't have the logos on them.
Pretty much just unbranded. Let me go show you.
So there's a place where you can go where you can just buy unbranded stuff. And that's basically all that you do.
Pretty much.
Okay.
I haven't looked at the shoes since the first time I looked at them. Whenever I first looked at them, it kind of like I didn't know I could do shoes, and I found them, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna save this for another time.
What are you looking at?
The shoes. So there's stuff like this. Like I'm pretty sure Adidas sells that exact same shoe.
That might be Reebok. I don't know, but I see what you're saying. Okay, so it's just like an all black shoe, but there's no logos on it. Okay.
There's different colors, but they'll most of the time just be solid colors, which I don't mind solid colors.
Yeah.
But,
I mean,
yeah,
it really just comes down to are you dedicated to the brand?
what brand is that?
Puma.
Reebok.
I know.
I was about to say. That's what's crazy is that is literally a Reebok shoe.
When was the last time you saw someone wearing a Puma shoe?
It has been a while, but Puma has a really interesting fact. Whenever Puma was kind of first coming out back in the 70s, they paid Pelé, the soccer player back in the 70s. That was Ronaldo or Messi of today.
Sure.
They paid him $120,000 to tie his shoes right before the game on live TV. So the whole world, because it was right before the World Cup final game.
Yeah.
So the
They,
whole
they did it.
world,
They did it for one game.
one game, they paid him $120,000 so the whole world could see him tie his Puma shoes.
I bet it worked.
I bet it fucking worked.
Yeah.
Like, okay, let me go find one shoe. And I'm about to blow your mind. You see, oh my God, dude.
What?
I didn't even think it was that high.
What?
You see how much those shoes are?
Adidas Yeezy.
Slides. The Yeezy slides. A lot of people know what those are. This website shows them for
$335 for a pair of slides. And those are pretty much the same ones for $15.
Why don't more people buy from me?
Well, because the Yeezy ones say Yeezy on them.
Yeah, that is true. I do know someone that has those Yeezy slides.
It's like getting Air Jordan slides or Gucci slides.
Yeah, Crocs work just fine.
Crocs are great.
Crocs are awesome.
Remember when Yeezys first came out and everyone was trying to get a pair of Yeezys because they were super expensive? What in the world? You can buy those shoes for, what, $10?
You go buy that from Nike or whoever, $250.
Well, Remember when Yeezys first came out? Everyone was trying to get a pair of Yeezys, trying to be like right on the clout, and you could tell when people had fake Yeezys on. Remember you sold a pair of fake Yeezys to Nick?
Yeah, for $40. I didn't want to gouge him for money. I was like, I let him know they were fake. I was like, look, you can have these. I don't really want them. But now that I'm looking back at it, I kind of wish I kept them. Not because I wanted to like walk around in fake Yeezys, but like.
Because didn't your friend go to Spain, Angus, and he bought them there?
Yeah, he bought everyone a bunch of Yeezys. He got them for like $20.
All a bunch of fake Yeezys?
Yeah. I wouldn't mind. Like, I kind of like.
I feel like it's pretty easy to just go online, like fake Yeezys. You know, where can I get some?
It looks really familiar.
Yeah. So a lot of these shoes, they're just ambiguous as to what they are, kind of, but they don't really cost a whole lot of money. So if you really want to get a pair of tennis shoes that, you know.
Should I add shoes? Should I do a shoe?
I think you could sell a lot of shoes. I think it's a good idea.
I'll look. That might be wave 4. That might be the last.
Wave 4.
Yeah.
So what's the third wave?
It's just going to be another bulk. Just hit everything.
Yeah, you should do. You should sell costumes.
Costumes. I do have.
Like gorilla suits. Bear costumes.
Oh, actually, I haven't looked at. Let me see if this website has them.
You should definitely do that.
Oh my god, dude. I'm about to be bullying on Halloween.
Why?
Low dollar. Like the things that you go to Party City and you pay $70 for a morph suit. $4.
Are morph suits really $70?
Some of them are.
Well, I'm sure the $4 morph suit, you're going to get a $4 if you pay for that. That's what you're going to get. That type of deal. It'll probably rip after wearing it 2 times.
Someone needs to be a little bit more clear with costume on this.
Oh. What did you find?
You don't want to know.
You're right. Okay. I don't want to. You do anything fun this weekend?
You have no idea. Those words were about to roll off my tongue. Like, if the second you finished it was when I was going to start saying that. I was literally about to say, are you doing anything this weekend?
Wow. We're basically the same person.
Yeah.
It's like you're Tom Holland and I'm Aunt Benedict Cumberbatch. No, answer the question. I asked you first.
Doesn't
sound like it.
I don't think so. I'm going to work on this wave of products. I'm going to try and have it up by like Sunday or something.
Do you feel like you're that kind of person that doesn't like to make plans, that likes to keep the schedule open for anything that could happen?
Yeah, that I am kind of like that. I don't. If something's like a month out, I'm gonna say, okay, I'll keep it in mind, but I'm not gonna like commit to that because shit happens.
Yeah, I'm the same way too. I mean, usually coming up to the date within about 4 or 5 days, I'm okay with committing to something.
Yeah.
But then really, if you want to, depending on how big it is, let's say it's ACL, and ACL is happening here in Austin in about a month. I could plan out a month to go do that.
But it's ACL.
That's what I'm saying. So
guess what?
Even if I wanted to go for just one day, it wouldn't be hard to just walk up and pay someone who's selling a band on the street and go in. If I decided I woke up on...
Do you want to go to ACL this year?
It doesn't seem like there's anyone that I want to see.
Do you want a free ticket?
Why would I want a free ticket? No. I mean, with who? Who am I going with? And what's
we can go together because Walgreens
sells fake ACL tickets.
Walgreens partnered with the city of Austin, like Austin city limits, and if you go get your first or second shot of Pfizer, your second shot of Moderna or J&J, they give you a free wristband. I'm serious.
Like for one day or the whole weekend?
Let me go see.
That's kind of nuts.
Yeah.
Because in that case, yeah, I might go.
But see, the thing is, I don't know.
Like I remember going the one time I did, and we went for one day.
Weekend.
It's a weekend pass.
ACL giving out free weekend one wristbands to people who get vaccinated.
What?
But that's actually really smart.
It is, but also at the same time, you got to think. I remember when I went the one time, 3 years ago, we saw Travis Scott.
Yeah.
Went to that one day. After that one day, I was like, I am so glad I am not coming back here again. I was wiped out. I was done. And I knew when I woke up, because it was a Sunday, woke up on Monday, and I was so glad that that's not what I was doing the next day. Because it's so much. And
I mean, George Strait is going to be there.
that's cool.
Duran.
They're going to play one song.
Yeah, I already looked at the lineup. I'm not in on this year. And even with that I'm sure with
If it was like Metallica and Travis Scott and
oh my god, they wouldn't do that for free. Are you fucking kidding me?
yeah, I just feel like another reason why that they can do this is because I feel like they know their lineup isn't that great.
Jack Harlow's going to be there on Saturday. Hold on.
I've seen him. Like he's pretty funny, like as a person.
Yeah.
I don't think I've heard any of his music though.
Bro, are you kidding me? Yes, you have.
Okay, well, I don't know it.
Oh god. Back with the remix these songs. That sounds like Phoenix.
Billie Eilish, I'm good. George Strait, Miley Cyrus, I'm good. Megan Thee Stallion, Machine Gun Kelly,
Paulo G. Huh.
Tyler the Creator. I like how Duran's a headliner.
Yeah. Mother's gonna be there. I didn't see that.
Doja Cat. Yeah, it's not the same as it's been in the past.
Yeah. I mean, it also is the first one back from Corona, and there also is like Rolling Loud and Lollapalooza just happened. So
Yeah.
all the people that went and performed there, they're not going to be like, all right, let's go to fucking Texas.
What if Eminem made a guest appearance or something?
My ass would be in the first fucking row. I guarantee you that. I was so bummed.
Remember when he did go to ACL?
Yes, Drake and Eminem, back when Drake was making good music. And
Yeah, he still makes good music, but you know the real test will be when he drops his album officially.
yeah, it's something with Kanye, right?
What do you mean?
Donda.
No. So we talked about this with you. Drake has an album that he's ready to drop, and Kanye has his Donda album. And right now, they've been quote unquote beefing because I don't know. They're trying to wait to see who drops their album first. I don't know. It's just
Kanye's not going to drop it first. He's going to play. Dude, don't play games with Kanye.
I know.
Kanye wins.
So that they're both going to have an album, and yeah, so they're just waiting on each other almost. Is what it seems like. There could be other things happening behind the scenes, but it just seems like, you know, if Drake drops this huge album and it's super popular, Kanye doesn't want to drop his right after or right before. I think that's what they're scared of, because if someone's got a huge album and they drop theirs, and then the other person's huge album comes out, theirs just gets forgotten about.
That is true.
It gets left behind. So that's why they don't want to be the first one to drop. But then it could just be that thing where, you know, Drake thinks he has a really good album and it's really not that good. It's like a Views 2.0. And actually, I take it back. Views was an okay album. There's like two
Views.
songs on there that were pretty good, but the rest of it was okay. So
That
then
was like 2016. There's been a lot since then.
there's been a lot since then, but still, I mean, Views wasn't that great of an album. It wasn't his best work, I'll say that. It wasn't Take Care. It wasn't, what is it? So far.
If you're reading this, it's too late.
Yeah.
That's my favorite. Actually, no. What a Time to Be Alive. That's one of my favorite albums ever. I bop to every single song on that album.
I do like that album. But then what's the one that he did in 2013 that, Hold On, We're Going Home? What's the album called?
God, I know exactly. I can picture it in my head.
And it's the blue album. It's just a picture of his silhouette almost.
Back with the remix. These sons almost something like that, like Phoenix.
What's that album called? Because that was a really good album.
Nothing was the same.
No, that's what I was thinking. So far, I don't know why I thought. Okay, nothing was the same.
Just hold on, we're going home.
Yeah.
Going home.
Yeah, there you go.
Things alone.
So Drake could drop another Views, and then Kanye drops Graduation 2.0 or something like that, and then Drake's album gets forgotten about. But then at the same time, if it's good, just drop it. Just get it out there. If it's good and you know it's good, it doesn't matter. It will still be there. And people will still listen to it if it's good. You know what I mean?
Dude, I'm about to go back and listen to so much Drake tonight. Just like, if you're reading this, it's too late. Nothing was the same. And What a Time to Be Alive. Those are my 3 favorite Drake albums. I didn't like More Life.
What? Take Care.
Take Care has some good songs on there. Marvin's Room. Oh my God. I love Marvin's Room.
Sad Boy.
Headlines. Take Care.
Yeah, Take Care is a really good song. Headlines is really good.
Heifer, bro. I forgot Heifer was off that album.
What about Over? I think it was his second album, one of his first ones.
Thank Me Later. Yeah.
Yeah, Thank Me Later. Yeah.
2010.
Old, man. Drake's been around for a while.
That is nuts.
And he's still as big as he is.
So Far Gone was 2009.
Can you imagine being at the top of hip-hop for over a decade? I mean, it being at least in the top 3 conversation for an entire decade.
That is how do you deal with fame?
Yeah, seriously. Like, Kanye was really big in the early 10s, the late teens, or the late 2000s. He kind of fell off the map for a little bit. And then he's kind of coming back, but I don't know that you can still put him in the top 3. And then Jay-Z was really big in the late 90s through the 2000s. And then
early 90s. What do you mean, dude? Jay-Z was a pimp.
In the early 90s?
Dude, Jay-Z was a gangster.
I think Jay-Z was, mid 90s. I'd say mid 90s, late 90s, through the 2000s. And then he had
to Jay-Z.
And then he had Blueprints, I think. That was the one with Empire State of Mind. And then Holy Grail? I think he did Holy Grail in 2013. Or is that what it's called?
One thing I heard about Jay-Z, he actually he was on like an interview or something, and he was talking about it. He doesn't write any of his music down, like nothing. He said he's written down like 3 songs. He does everything off the top of his head.
So whenever he raps on his songs,
he's doing that off the top of his head.
He doesn't write anything down.
Nothing.
Wow.
Yeah, that's talent.
Just killer freestyle.
And then Eminem is just doing crossword puzzles in his head.
Yeah, seriously. I think that's one of his bars too. He talks about doing crossword puzzles in his head.
God, dude, Eminem's crazy. I think, and just in some of his songs, the reason why he's one of my favorite rappers is he just has funny lines.
He says some funny stuff.
Chuck Norris with a thesaurus.
Yeah. And he was the first man to rhyme orange.
Orange floorboards.
He's like you break it down into 2 words.
Orange door hinge.
Door hinge. Yeah. But anyways, so Drake's trying to try and drop his album. Kanye's going to, I really don't know what they're waiting on. There's probably something, I wouldn't say legal, but just marketing. Maybe they're just trying to milk this beef thing to see who drops their album first, maybe. It's good publicity because we're sitting here talking about it right now. Because otherwise, Drake probably could have dropped his album a month ago, and it would have just been another album on the market.
You know who's a businessman?
A businessman? Shaq?
Floyd Mayweather.
That's what I've heard.
He made $110 million off the Logan Paul fight, and all he did was fight for like 30 minutes or whatever. Well, he wasn't even fighting for 30 minutes. Like, he was there for like 30 minutes.
I didn't even think he threw that many punches. He just kind of like danced around the ring for about 30 minutes.
Yeah. It made $110 million in one night.
Why were you thinking about that?
I just saw it on a thing, and it kind of blew my mind. Just think about that. In one night, you make enough money to live the rest of your life.
And your kids' lives. And your grandkids' lives.
And you can use that money to eternal.
Yeah, it's called generational wealth.
Yeah.
Made it all in one night.
One fucking night. You can go invest well over half of it, and it's there for generations.
And he sat in a ring with his hands up, dancing around some kid from Ohio. Yeah, that's crazy. That's how the world works.
Sophie FaceTimed me. I said, we're recording right now. And she said, I'm listening to 4 right now.
Oh.
So she probably had something to say about 4.
She might have. That's okay. I don't remember half the things we say.
Yeah, me too. It's kind of why I might repeat something.
Yeah. That's okay. Just go for it.
Yeah.
See what happens. The days are getting shorter.
Yeah, the sun's coming out. The sun's going away sooner.
Yeah, it's 7:30, and the sun's already going down. I remember a month ago, it was like 8:30, and the sun was still up.
A month before that, 9:30.
Almost.
And it never really gets past like 8:45.
Yeah.
But
Wow.
I mean, even then, 8:45 and the sun is still shining.
Throughout this whole podcast, the numbness has gone away. So it started to go away at the beginning, and now that we're at the end of the podcast, 1 hour, it's gone. Pretty much. I can still barely feel the numbness.
It's probably because you've been talking so much. You've just been moving the blood around.
Maybe, but it's also the nerves waking back up. Because what's it called? The anesthesia just knocks out the nerves, puts them to sleep.
Would you rather get $100 every day without doing anything, or 8 rounds in a ring with Mike Tyson for $1 million
You said $100 a day?
without doing anything, or $1 million for 8 rounds against Mike Tyson?
So you're talking about $36,000 a year to do nothing. Or make $1 million to stay on the ring with Mike Tyson for how long? A minute?
8 rounds.
8 rounds. Okay,
So
I'm taking the money. I'm taking the $100 a day. I would die. I would literally die.
Let's go with 4 rounds.
4 rounds. Still, that's pretty tough. I would say 1 round. You pay me $1 million, I'll get in the ring with Mike Tyson for 1 round. A round is still 4 minutes.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, let's go with 1 round.
Is it 4 minutes or 5 minutes? I think it's 5 minutes.
Have you watched Mike Tyson's highlight clips?
Oh, I've seen them.
Dude, he was a monster.
So you're talking about Mike Tyson right now or Mike Tyson 20 years ago?
Let's go with Mike Tyson right now. Because Mike Tyson 20 years ago, you're fucked. You
Well,
are
not even-
so incredibly fucked.
I'm still F now. Like if I got in the ring with Mike Tyson as he is today, he will knock me out. 1, 2, I might suffer a serious brain injury. So I'm gonna take the $100 a day. Yeah, I'm not doing that.
I'm going to hop in the ring with him.
Really, for $1 million.
Be like, hey, I'll give you $500,000 if you go easy on me.
You know what? I'll take that $100 a day, and in 30 years, I'll be making more than the $1 million. So
But if you get that $1 million and invest it, that's exponential. That $100 a day is just linear.
no, I'll take the $100 a day and just invest it every single day. Just invest it. That's how you make bucks, boy.
God, think about that. You got a free $100 every day just to invest it somewhere.
That's nuts.
That is nuts.
Yeah, so that's what I would do. I put it all in Dogecoin. And guess who'd have the most Dogecoin in the world? Actually, think about that. Who do you think decided they were going to go all in on Dogecoin? And they're all in right now. Who do you think has like the type of person to be the majority holder of Dogecoin, who has the most Dogecoin?
Elon.
I don't know that it would be Elon, but there's someone out there who is that person who has the most Dogecoin to their name.
Like more than everyone else.
There is someone out there that has more Dogecoin than anyone else. Someone went that far.
I mean, primarily, there's only going to be like 10 or 15 people that hold 99% of the equity of Dogecoin. Because then you have our average Joes like me and you, and we go drop
$100
$100
on Dogecoin.
and they're dropping millions at a time, multiple times.
Imagine having that kind of money just to play around. Like, oh, we don't know if Dogecoin will work out, but I'll throw $1 million at it to see if it blows up like Bitcoin.
God, if you invested $1 million into Dogecoin when it was like 4 cents and then sold it at 70, I mean,
is it at 70 cents right now?
no, it's at like 30 something.
Okay.
My average cost on it right now is 29.
So it peaked at 70 cents.
Yeah, it peaked at 70, but it's gonna go. I'd say it goes higher than 70 at some point. But it's also gonna shoot. It's very unstable.
Gosh. When was Dogecoin 4 cents?
Like February. And
Really?
I passed up so many opportunities, man.
I had no idea.
I passed up so many. I know Hugh the one that came on, fucking, he bought it when it was less than a cent.
Really?
He still has that. If that thing hits like $1 or $2 and he sells that,
Well, how much did he buy it when it was less than a cent?
like $1,000 or something like that.
He bought 1,000 Dogecoins when they were less than a cent.
I think he used like $1,000 worth.
Oh, he spent $1,000 on Dogecoin
Yeah.
when it was less than a cent.
Right now I have like 600 something at 30 cents.
So he bought like over 100,000 Dogecoin.
Yeah, he had a lot, but he sold it primarily, or not primarily, but incrementally. Like whenever it hit like 50 or 60, he sold like 30% of it, something like that, and took like $2,000 profit or something like that.
Wow.
That's one thing that I'm going to do is there's an app you should get for crypto called Voyager. There's a lot of cryptos out there that are less than a cent. And so when you're buying...
Just because they're cryptos doesn't mean...
I know. But I would say in the next 15, 20 years of our lives, crypto becomes something relevant and like some kind of usable currency in a way. And so I'm going to invest like 10, 15 bucks into like 20,
all of them.
Not all of them, but 20 or 30 different less than a cent cryptos. I mean, if one of them goes to 50 cents and I cash at the right time.
Imagine it becomes a Bitcoin and it goes up to 40 grand.
It's not going to happen again.
Yeah, it's probably not.
Ethereum 2.0 might do it.
What's Ethereum 2.0?
Ethereum's just a giant blockchain, and Ethereum 2.0 is like a more productive, not productive, but like I think efficient or something. It's just a better version of Ethereum 1. But
So they weren't satisfied with Ethereum. They had to make a second one?
Yeah, something like that. The guy that invented Ethereum is a billionaire right now.
I'm sure he is. Yeah, why don't you go invent Ethereum?
I'm good. I'll play Minecraft. I actually started a new world today, and I was on for like 30 or 45 minutes.
Okay, no one wants to hear about that. So,
I didn't even know what to say.
sorry, that was mean. I should have let it play longer.
Yeah, you botched the joke.
No, it was still pretty good though.
I was on for like 30 minutes, and I had like all of my loot from the beginning of starting the world,
Okay, really though.
and I almost died, and I freaked out. But okay, just cut my story short. I didn't want to hear what you wanted to say either. It's been a good one.
Don't be brittle. Don't be rude.
No, it's been a fantastic one.
It's been awesome.
You know what's awesome?
Tell me.
Having feeling in my mouth.
Shut up.